Awesome fun! What is up, dudes, dudettes, and dudes who defy description? I'm so excited to be starting another episode of Awesome Fun in Minecraft because in our last episode, we were working on this awesome redesign of Ecto 1, continuing in our series of things to add to Route 66. And this build, this road, it's inspiring me so much. I've been looking into all the different awesome attractions that exist on Route 66, and we have things like, the Cadillac Ranch, the Blue Whale of Catoosa, but most excitingly of all, I've seen something really cool that we're going to build today, the Wigwam Motel in San Bernardino, California. So let's go take a look at today's exciting construction project. Oh yeah. Let's start by taking a look at the plan for our Wigwam Motel. So we're going to have 5 wigwams altogether. Now, if you actually take a look, and it's really worth having a look at the Wigwam Motel on your kind of Google Earth satellite image. This one we're doing is a lot smaller than the real one. There's about maybe 18 or 19 of these wigwams in the real life one. There's kind of in the center a grassy area with a little building, a swimming pool, then a whole row of these things around one layer, a kind of road in between, and then another row going around the outside. So for my build, I'm going to make it a lot smaller because to make it realistic, it would kind of take up this entire area here and really dominate the entire road. And we want it to feel like a little rest stop on our Route 66 and still have plenty of areas along the road and going back towards that area where we can add things in later on. So I've shrunk it down. We're going for 5. I really love the idea of the wigwams coming almost right up to the edge of the road. It'd be really cool how it will appear as you move past. So we'll have that. Then we'll add a kind of marked out area here where we can have an entry and exit for vehicles, and then kind of a little small maybe building, a reception area in the center with a sign on it, of course, that we'll have that you can see on either side of the road. So this is our plan, our semicircular shape, and I've got a really cool idea of how to show you how I'm going to build the wigwam. So let's go take a look at that. So rather than explain how to build one as I'm building it, I thought because we're doing 5, we've got an opportunity to do it step by step. And this way you can get a really clear idea if you want to build this at home of all the measurements. You can do things like pause the video right here and count this out and plan this. And I think this is a really cool idea for a way to do it. But there's one quick thing I wanted to say first of all. If we come and look at the sort of finished one, and yeah, I really love it. It's going to be great when we've got all of them. This place that this is inspired by is called the Wigwam Motel. It does exist in California, and I believe it used to be a chain of motels that were all called the Wigwam Motels. However, this type of tent, this structure, I discovered in my research, is actually not called a wigwam. It's called a teepee. A wigwam is like a domed covered structure. And these things, although they're often mistakenly called wigwams, are actually called teepees. Although the place, as I say, the chain of motels is called the Wigwam Motel. So in this video, I'm probably going to use wigwam, teepee, tent, and wool thingy, if I forget that, interchangeably. But just as a point of interest, there is a technical difference between wigwams and teepees, and that's what I learned in my research. So I think it's time for a quick sleep, and then we'll get on with the building. So the initial plot itself is a kind of circular shape. It's 5 along one edge with 4 going on the diagonal, then another 5, then 4 on the diagonal, and another 5. I've gone for these prismarine slabs because the ones in the pictures I was looking at were kind of an aqua blue color. This is the closest. I kind of love this texture, but it never feels like it works. But let's stick with it for now. Then in the in-between, we've got podzol. But what you do is come to the center of the 5, come 1 in, and you do 2 white, and then 3 diagonal coming up from it, 2 white, 3 diagonal, 2 white, 3 diagonal. And I've gone with this, although this is in the floor, my thinking is that when you have the door, which will be here, will go down. So you do want it to go one kind of down into the ground. So that's the first plot. And as I say, you might want to like pause the video here and get this screenshot so you can get the exact pattern that we're going for. The 3 with the 2 sticking out, the 3. Really cool pattern. Then, when we're going to come over to this one, you build up 4 struts by building a square of 4 on top of the 2 with 1 on top of it. Then we come 4 up, 1 in, 3 up, 1 in, 2 up, and you'll get a central hole like that. So we do that, as I say, by building a thing that's like this, coming to the 2, going 1, 2, and 3. And then I found actually the easiest way to do it is to build up scaffolding from the center of the tent. And that makes it really easy to come in, come up. What was it? 4. Oh, wool's always the worst when you misplace it. And then you can just like go up again. And then you come up 3. And then you come up 2, I think, on the next one. So that's how an easy way I found to build these 4 pillars. So that's your pillar there. Again, you can take a look at that structure, how that works. Then when we come to fill it in, we basically come to the bits in between and we build them up to a height of 4. So that's just these marks here coming up 1, 2, 3, 4. So once again, we can head back here, and easiest way to do that is to build up with it. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, so 4, and then we do the same on all of those bits. Then when we come to our next bit, we're going to come 1 in and go up, what by that, by 3, and then 1 in and go up by 2. So if we come to this one here, let's break ourselves in here. Again, easy way to do this, come to the center. So we're going to come up on the inside here. Not on this bit here, but just this bit on the outside. So you're going to come up there by 3. Oh, if I use the white wool. 1, 2, 3. And then again, for the next layer, just temporary block on the inside here, and you're going to come up by 3. That'll close it up. And then once you do that on all sides, you'll have it lovely and sealed up, and it'll look something like this. Now, for the finer details of it, they have this kind of red stripe that goes around here. Now, how you do the red stripe is you just come up, get ourselves up. To this section here, so not the top section, one below it. And it's up to you where you put it, but you can just knock out one block like that there. Wherever you start from, you then go diagonal up. So if we start there, we're going to go diagonally up this way. So it'll go that way. So the next one along would be on the top. And that starts to give us our curve. And likewise, we come to this side here. We place this here. This one here. Quite quick. And you can easily get around the top of this, so you don't have to build anything particular. Let's see. This one. And then to do this one here, we're going to drop down. And that'll be that. But you can make these any colors, of course, that you like as well. Now, for the sticks on the top, that should look like the sticks that are supporting it, we're going to use oak fence. And how I've done that is the tallest one, they're all a different height, so we've got 4 of them. The tallest one is 4 high. Then this one's 3, another one's 2, and another one's 1. And I think this really works when you look at it from different angles like this. You get the impression that it is holding it up. So you just go onto the top bit there and build up those sections there. And then all of these things, of course, are like optional, or you can use different combinations. If you want to add a window, because some of them have windows, I've done it on this section here. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We take out the middle one. Then we place a bit of white wool here and there. We can place an end rod on the inside, and it kind of looks like a window slat. I think it looks quite good when you look at it from like this side, but it does look a bit weird from here. I suppose you could have it optional, as if some of them are open, some of them are not open. It's kind of your decision. Maybe if someone's occupying it, it might be open. If someone's not, then you don't. Now for a door, the doors can go on any of the 4 sides. Where you've got this, the bit here with the square, you'll have 3 in between. So if we come here, 3 in between. If we come here, 3 in between. And you can just break out 1 and 2 here. Come inside, put down some more wool, and then we've got our birch door. Looked the most like the door in the pictures that I've seen. And you've got a little basic entrance and exit in here. And again, you could do like more or less things. I've put some carpet on the ground around the front of it. I suppose it's to stop villagers and other things from maybe being able to get in or out of it. But you could maybe do like something even more stylistic if you wanted, like this, as if it's been pushed out of the way. You can play around with this and sort of mess around with how you want it. You might want to have them all a little bit different. And then as well, the same thing, you might want to mess around with some carpet, placing it in some different places, particularly around the windows, to play around with the height, make the thing look a bit more ruffled. And, you know, no canvas teepee, I guess, should look the same. They should all look a little bit different depending on how the wind's blowing and all those things. But that gives you all the basic steps that you need to make a teepee. And if you have a look inside with this one with all the stuff taken away, it looks great. There's so much space inside. It feels really spacious. It doesn't feel cramped at all. I really love it. It's going to be fun to decorate the inside. But before we can get inside, we have to finish being outside. So now we've done the steps, it's time to do all the steps on all the wigwams/teepees. And the best way to do that is, of course, to hit fast forward. Stop it! Stop messing with my terrain, buddy! I barely even put it down every episode with this. Anyway, isn't it amazing how doing something so simple as laying down like concrete can make something feel a lot more finished and just nicer looking? But oh, I love it! Look at our 5 teepees/wigwams. They are coming together super nice. So what else do we still have to do? Well, around here, we're going to need to place down a little sort of reception building. Then we're going to need a sign here as well. And it's really funny, the sign, I think all the colours and everything really super clash for the designs I've got, but they're kind of based on what's there in real life. And I guess these motels are kind of old-fashioned and, you know, things are a bit worn out in some places. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're also going to need to add a whole bunch of greenery in the form of kind of palm trees at various locations around the area. We're going to need some vehicles with some people actually visiting the area. We're going to need to blend it in. You can see where we've still got our temporary border there in the red, so we're going to have to blend this in with the terrain going around there as well. And in general, we need to add a variety of different bits of life, things like benches, fire pits, and not forgetting, of course, the very important interiors of the wigwams too. But I think what we're going to do next is, hey, I'm watching you, buddy. Oh, I looked at him. Oh, no. Okay, well, I'm going to go down here, and if I don't die, we're going to get on with reception and the sign. Oh, I can hear the noise. Oh, I hate it. And we pop a little dye there. Never quite goes as bright white as you expect. That's kind of grey, but it definitely looks a bit better. How awesome is this? It's really coming to life here, and I've added a lot of little additional things that really, yeah, make it awesome. You see what I mean about the colours clashing though? So the real sign is like this in real life, light blue and then kind of dirt yellow. The actual wigwam is yellow, but I thought it looked better to have it white because I thought it stood out better. The wigwam, how great is that? It's just a shame that when we get like certain distance away, it disappears. When we get to about here, it should reappear. There we go. That's awesome, and with the Route 66 sign on it, that's great. And this building as well, Supposed to kind of be a dirty white color. This kind of terracotta. It kind of goes, I guess, with the Wigwam TP theme. There is a sign on the neon sign on it that says "Get your kicks on Route 66." Obviously, that would mean the building would be ginormous, so we had to go for just on 66. It's pretty good. We added it here though. Get your kicks on 66 here though. Added some maps. This map, I think, this two-part map put together looks awesome. We'll need to keep updating that as we make some changes here as well. But that looks really cool. Have you slept in a teepee lately? And of course, right in the back, we've got reception, some nice black railings here, gift shop, and we'll do the interior, I think, when we come to do the interiors of the TP as well. And of course, the sign is the same on this sign too, but all starting to come together. And I think the next thing we need to add is vehicles. So we should make a decision about some vehicles that we might want to add. So we obviously built Ecto 1 in the last episode, but we've got 2 Ecto 1s already in the areas. Another one here, see? So we're not going to build another one then. Let's go for one convertible, maybe a red one, not sure. We'll decide on the color. Quite like the convertible design. So I can have a convertible visiting there. I'd also actually love to have Batman. Hello, Batman. Visiting. And now we can actually update this because there are black half slabs and blocks that we can use to make this proper Batmobile-esque. So let's have a Batmobile and let's have a motorbike as well, because it's nice and small. So we've got one with a sidecar here, and then just a regular style of motorbike here. Maybe we'll even make a new design. So let's add ourselves 3 vehicles to have some people, hey llama, have some people visiting our motel. There it is, the sign, the Wigwam Motel. This is such a fun build. Na 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 na, Batmobile, Batmobile. Batmobile. It looks even more awesome. This design in black. Oh yes. It's the 2 different texture colors. This for the kind of base part and a little bit of detailing. This darker part. Looks awesome. A really cool Tim Burton Batmobile. So we've added that vehicle. We've also gotten ourselves a nice red convertible. It's a slight variation on the design. I've kind of started enjoying putting metal trapdoors on the iron trapdoors even on the bottom of vehicles for a nice bit of detailing. I think it really works well. We've got the nice comfy white leather seats inside too, so we got a visitor there. And I'm also loving this new motorbike design. Quite simple, but yeah, the hopper as the kind of engine part. We're going for a kind of chrome bike. We've got the eye of Ender for the light there with the transparent frame. We've gone for the blast furnace to add to the chrome part of it. You know, it's pretty good. If you stand on here, the trapdoor opens. That is not, and I don't know if most bikes have ejector seats, but this one does. And the handlebars are a little bit big, but it looks great. Little red light on the back there as well, brake light. Really nice. So this place is starting to come to life. And I've also added in a palm tree. Isn't it lovely? Nice little kind of fake palm tree that we've got going on here. Pretty funky. So I thought I would show you before we add a bunch of these around to give us a nice framing. We'll have some smaller ones in the front. How to design these, because I came up with a pretty nice design. So if we start actually not here, let's start over here. So the base of this is just a composter. We fill that up to the very top so it turns to white. It looks really good. Then if you crouch, you can place your jungle fence sort of as high up as you want it to go. So I want mine to be roughly different heights based around the top of the pyramids there. So when you come to do the actual design on the top of your trunk, you're going to place yourself just one bit of jungle wood. On either side of that, bit of jungle fence here. And on the front of that, cocoa beans. We've got that on either side. And then the pattern is just, if you're facing it, put a dirt block on top. 1 jungle leaf, dirt block, 2 jungle leaves, dirt block, 1 jungle leaf. So that curve there, 1 curve on the opposite side, so mirror it. Then come down to here and you put 1 to the left and then 1 underneath diagonal there. And you just do that on all 4 sides, repeat the pattern, and it will give you this funky palm tree design that you see here. And of course, trees are never really exactly the same each time, but you can use that as a base design to give you some nice variations. And I think that works really well. So let's get on with some tree forming. Is that a word? It is now. Well, we are almost there, folks. So much happened there. A lot of little things as well that were difficult to show in the time lapse. So, of course, the main thing we had gotten done was added our palm trees. A little bit of variety there. Really nice to help frame. We've got a smaller one here in the front. I'll explain these guys in a little bit. So we've got these palm trees here. We've also added cacti just in these little pots here as well, and some other sections too, as well as, of course, varied up the ground here. I added sort of bits where that people would be walking towards the different areas, added on bits of grass growing in and things as well. You might notice during the time lapse I picked these guys up. This is PP and Popo, because I didn't want it to just be vehicles. We're also going to have a visiting wandering trader in here as well. We also took care of a nice sort of black railing style fence that's going around the outside, and I also blended all the terrain in here, so it's now not sticking out over the edge of everything. I am sad that we weren't able to somehow incorporate this awesome ravine. Instead, we just had to work over the top of it here. It would have been cool if we could have somehow fitted that in, but sometimes it just doesn't work that way. So we've got all nice and blended in, as I say, on the back here, along with lots of bits of dirt here, blending it in, some leaves that look as if they've fallen off the palm trees as well. Now we also added in lots of areas like this where we've got potential areas for people to come and cook their food as they're staying in the place. I like these as well. We've got another variety of it over here with a slightly wooden one with double benches going on here as well. And I suppose, although I've never quite understood in the real design why there's so much blue, it seems to kind of clash. But in a way, it does, like this and the flowers and this sort of begin to work together, I guess, in a way. But it is supposed to be a kind of old-fashioned, kind of slightly run-down motel. So we've now got all the terrain worked out. And I also took care of the exterior and interior of here. So we've got stuff that you could buy, food to cook, food to eat. Then inside the shop, we've got, as if you could, hire stuff to go fishing or horse riding. A little book there for the person checking in the people into the hotel. This little counter that goes up there. A little bell to ring for service, of course, and to upset those dudes. So we've got these nice little interior bit all finished off and a little bit of detail on the back here. So it's much more come to life. Now I want to show you the interiors, because I've done the interiors and I'll show you the kind of things I've done, and you can see whether you want to take some or little bits or all of them. Now these banners that you'll see featured in all the different designs, they are from a different episode, and I linked to where you can make them in Planet Minecraft. So I will link that episode right now in the top corner of the screen where we originally used these, so you can find that there. Now, I decided for the bottom here, because you never often get a chance to use glazed terracotta, and it's quite awesome. So we're going for a kind of crazy rug, a kind of crazy rug to go with the wigwam. That's the design. Underneath here, you've got, of course, your campfire, which will put smoke out the roof. We've got a shovel to put the fire out and flint and steel to light it if you need. Bed to sleep in, obviously. Then you've got a little library for reading, a little table for eating your meals. And we've got dangling, this has just got one, but we've got some dangling lanterns as well. And some of them, oh no, there's two. There's another one in there as well. And it just feels really super spacious in here. It really does. So let me show you another design. They're all kind of variations on the theme. We just went with a different color of carpet or rug on each one using the colourful designs. Really brightens it up. This one's got a little bucket seat in it with the 2 trapdoors against the old stair. Usual supplies in there. Slightly different design on the banners as well. Because I think if you remember when we did our research for a tent that we took in the Nether episode, we designed these banners because it said that a lot of Native American tribes, when they design their wigwams, their teepees, they tend to design them with the earth in mind. So the floor tends to be kind of like green or brown, like the earth. And then you have blue at the top, like the sky, and you might have yellow for the sun. So you kind of incorporate these colors when you design that. And I loved that idea as a way to think about designing something and how to color scheme something, base it on the earth. So I love it. This is probably my favorite of all the banners, the kind of night sky one that we see there. Once again, a slightly different seat, same kind of variations there. A few different lights hanging from chains too. Now you'll see that basically got the same kind of theme going on in each one, slightly different colours, slightly different banners, but just a mixture of the same type of things. And I didn't want to have smoke coming out of all of them, so we'll just have some of them being occupied-o. And here's our final one with the lime and with the turtle banner there that we see there. A nice little bookcase, little cactus in the plant pot there as well. So that is how we design the interiors. I think we are almost there with this. I think the last thing that we need to do is add ourselves in a little bit more life. I like life in a build. PP and Popo over there have added some, but these two are going to add a little bit more. This is Wig and Wham, who are going to work here. I've put down one of their blocks underneath the counter, so one should work behind the counter and one of them should hang around like around about here, and then they should both come back to the shop towards the bell at night time. But we also need to do a bit of armor stand magic to add some guests, because as you can see, we've got a biker who's definitely visiting, we've got Batman who's visiting, and we've got a wandering trader who's visiting. So these people need to be added. So let's bring some life to the Wigwam Motel. Please don't walk into the cactus. Okay, good. Yep, go that way. No. Oh, Wham. He's always up to craziness. So we've got a lot of life added here, and I'm super happy with the way this build is turning out. Wig and Wham there are really cool because they actually... How good is it? He's the staff. He's going in there. He's checking the reservations, making sure everybody is happy who's coming to visit the motel. Isn't that great? And let's check in on some of our guests that we've added in. We have in here Batman. His cape hung up on the wall there, relaxing, enjoying the fire there on his bed. Good old Batman with his Batmobile right there. Then in here, beside PP and Popo, we have the wandering trader doing what else but counting all of the emeralds he's been making on his travels. And it's great. A traveling salesman is exactly who you would expect to see in a motel. Over here we have, of course, Wig, and I've put Wig's work block here. So Wig kind of like kicks around the area. Wig's like groundskeeping and maintenance, and Wham is reception and administration and that sort of stuff. We don't have anybody living in here. This one empty at the moment. And then our other visitors that we've got are 2 bikers over here. One of them getting ready to have marshmallows. We've got the chicken cooking up on the fire here, and we've got this I know why you're thinking it's kind of biker, kind of Bunny be a biker, and I was like, I think so, because Bunny and biker both start with B, so that makes a lot of sense to me. And Bunny's having a drink there, so these are 2 people on their road trip together on their motorbike, stopped off at the Wigwam Motel as they enjoy Route 66. I also added a little cheeky horse here, just to give us a bit more life. You know, it's nice to have things moving, and that's what I really like about having the guy. You can even hear the dude working away on their paperwork in there too. So that is all of our life added to the build. And with the finish of our build is the finish of our episode. Thank you so much for joining me today and in watching the construction of the amazing, the fantastic Wigwam Motel. I'm try to run in and get almost ran into the cactus. There it is. The Wigwam. Well, that's my face. The Wigwam Motel. That's right. As always, if you have any questions about this build, feel free to get in touch, and I can leave any pictures or comments in the comments below, or post pictures on Twitter if you have any questions about anything you see built in any episode. So take care out there, and I'll see you next time for more awesome fun in Minecraft. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye. Woo. So you think I can get some favorable rates in this kind of place? How many emeralds? But I built it, my brother. I built it. What? Dude, there's such an emerald scam that you guys. What are you doing with all these emeralds? What are you buying with these emeralds?